everyone, Angela here. Life can be challenging. Trust me, I get it. However, I have learned we can either view the opposition or value the opportunity. Ponder on the problem or praise the potential. Focus on the situation or find the solution. Despite the current circumstances you're going through, I invite you to join me today as we embark on a grand adventure to discover the reasons why it's a good time to be you.
Here's the encourager herself, making every day a good day, Angela Henderson.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. We are so glad you are here. Thank you for being with us today on It's a Good Time to Be You. So turn to your neighbor and say, it's a good time to be you. And it is. We have with us an amazing couple today, Fred and Chevy Noble. You know, God is doing some amazing things in their life, and they are breaking free from a mindset of generational poverty, and they are stepping into some beautiful, beautiful blessings of the Lord. You know, there's that saying that says there's no place like home, and certainly there is not. And home, the house, is built on wisdom and on love. It's established. And so this couple has just moved into a new level with the Lord of trust and believing in faith when it comes to establishing their home. You know, it's not so much about the building that we put our family in, but it's about the family. And God has really formed their family and has helped them to walk together as a family through unsurmountable things to increase their faith and their love for each other. And in that, He blessed them with something really amazing. And so we don't want you to go away. We are going to be right back, and we are going to introduce our guest for you today on It's a Good Time to Be You. So see you in a few.
Hey everyone, Angela here. Just wanting to invite you to share your story with us. You know, we all have times in our lives when it just seemed like it was impossible. But then there was that moment of breakthrough. And just maybe your story was meant to be shared and imparted to be able to encourage and uplift others. Well, we would love to be able to give you that opportunity. So how about send your story into us at itsagoodtimetobeYou@gmail.com for consideration. We would love the opportunity to be able to bring you up on stage so that you can do what you were designed to do, and that was to be an encouragement to those around you. You know, sometimes you just can't make this stuff up, but when it happens, we want the world to know about it. So again, reach out to us at itsagoodtimetobeYou@gmail.com and send in that story for us to consider. And remember, it's a good time to be you.
So glad you're with us today. Now let's give our friends Fred and Chevy Noble a great warm welcome. Come on out, guys. We are so glad you're here today. Thank you for being with us. Oh, I love your shirt. Fear over faith. Any day, right? Hey, Fred, how are you? Good deal. Y'all, please have a seat. It is so wonderful to have you with us. So eager to share your story with our viewing audience and our friends, because God is an amazing God, and I know that He is just demonstrating His amazing self to you guys every day on a regular basis. And when I heard your story and just how awesome God is, I just got so excited. And I think that when people know you, they'll know your God. And so it's important that they get to meet you today. And so with that being said, why don't you guys just kind of take us back with your story as to how you guys met and how long you've been together.
Well, we met at a youth ministry. I was a youth leader at that time, and I had everybody put their names in a box, and I happened to get Chevy's name.
So, now, what did you do with them names once you pulled them out?
So we called one another, okay. And I got to know her a little bit. And at the time, I started my business. Yeah. So I said, hey, I needed an art teacher. She said, hey, I can do art. And so she came along, and you know, we began to get to know each other a little bit better, and here we are.
And it was all just pulling your name out of a box.
Right.
That is so wild. You know, sometimes we think it's random happenstance, but that was a divine appointment, a divine direction. Right. That is so cool. And so how long have you two been together and building your family?
Well, we've been together for almost 9 years in November.
Okay.
And so at this point, we have 3 children.
Beautiful.
But in the beginning of this journey, it was one. And so, when we added on, this journey was just an interesting one. As it was building, we realized that we wanted something different for our children.
Yes.
And I think that even our second child, like, she was just meant for a home. And that's why I say it was just one, because she came into the world and she was just like, this isn't enough space for me at a young age. At a young age. And it made us realize that we desired that as well. And that's what started our journey, really, just wanting that space for our family.
Good deal. And so you guys began to dream. And what was the dream looking like when you first began to dream of that place that you would be able to put your family in and begin to continue to build and establish your family? What did you begin in dreaming about?
Well, we began to definitely dream about a home. Matter of fact, Chevy drew the home on a poster board.
Yeah. So you drew it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So kind of like a vision board.
Yeah.
We put that together, and then we began to start the process.
Okay. And when you say begin to start the process, what was that process? What did that look like for you?
Oh, my gracious. Well, that process for us actually yielded a lot of rejection. We started going out to figure out what all needed to be done to actually obtain a home.
Yes.
Before Fred and I got together, he had tried to get a home, had plans and everything, blueprints, and it just never went through. But then when we were together and we went to different places that we could get like first-time home ownership programs and things of that nature, oh my gosh, it was like everything that we did, we found out more information as to why it wasn't possible for us at that time.
Okay, so they were saying it wasn't possible. Okay. All right. And so it just made this seem like it was a hopeless fantasy.
It really did.
Sometimes the enemy of our soul will make us feel that way. Will make us feel that the dreams inside of us, because we can't make it happen, seem hopeless. But those are the God-inspired dreams. Those are the God moments that He's just wanting to rise up and shine in our lives and to just illuminate the world around us. And so when we come back, we're going to tap into a little bit more of this amazing story. So don't go away, and remember, it's a good time to be you. Check out my new book on AngelaDHenderson.com and take a journey to discover the many reasons why it's a good time to be you. Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for being with us today. We have Fred and Chevy Noble with us that are sharing just a miraculous story of just God's amazing love and grace and intervention in their life when it came to becoming owners of their own home. And so we kind of left off with you guys sharing about the dream of having a home. Your middle child was meant to be in a house, her own house, and she had already declared that. A little prophetess of God here.
Yes.
And so you guys grabbed a hold of that and thought, okay, well, this must be God, and we're going to walk in this. So with that being said, Fred, why don't you tell us what happened in the year of 2016, 2017. You guys had been married for a few years now. You said you've been together for about 9. 9, by the way, guys, you're entering into it. It means to finish and accomplish. So there are some great things that God is doing in and through you, even at this moment, that maybe you've not seen the results that you desire to see, but it's coming and it's happening. But you guys have been married for several years now, going into this time frame of 2016, 2017. So what happened? Here you are, you got this great vision of God. You're ready to make it happen, and then what?
Well, what happened? 2015 was, as I recall, was a pretty good year for us.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we were up to like 4 streams of income.
Wow.
Two doors opened for us unexpectedly in 2016, 2017 concerning the business.
Okay.
But at the end of that year, going into 2017, all of a sudden they called me in and said both of those streams of income got wiped away.
Oh my
So then we had to go into our emergency savings and kind of just
to survive.
Right.
Well, it's beautiful because 2015, let's go there because that was the first date that you met. And the 2020, we're just looking at the number 20, represents redemption. So no matter what's happening and what's going on, God promises to redeem and to make good. Amen. Okay? And so 15 represents a time of new direction. So here you are, you're planning to purchase this home, you're planning to, provide this beautiful place to abide in with your family. You've got all these plans and all these ideas, all right? But then God says, well, let's take you in kind of a little bit of a new direction here. So you think some blessings are filtering in. Right. That doesn't mean that they weren't, but then all of a sudden the streams run dry. Right. They dry up a little bit. 2016, the number 16 represents unconditional love. And I'm sure probably during that time you thought, God, what are you doing? Have you forsaken us? But he truly, truly loved you unconditionally, and he was getting ready to prove it. Even as you were entering into 2017, which even though it might have looked like a total loss, you were really walking in victory. And I'm kind of reminded of, when Jesus, when he died, again, he went into that grave, and to his disciples, it looked like a total loss. But it wasn't. It was complete victory, and he was getting ready to demonstrate that in a matter of 3 days. So share with me, Chevy, at that time, what was it that you were doing?
Well, I was actually taking care of my mother who had a stroke. Fred and I, when we got married, actually into our marriage, I was already taking care of my mother. So I thank God for this wonderful man that he's given me. I definitely wanted to work, but I couldn't because I was her full-time caregiver. Right. And then we had Shekinah, our blessed child. And then what we ended up doing was, because of the streams of income kind of filtering out, we actually moved in with my parents because my dad worked and he went away a lot. So it made more sense for us to try to save up some money. I could care for my mom all the time, and the children had stability. So we actually ended up moving in with my parents for quite a while. And during that time, we were just making plans for a home. We said, okay, this is the time we can actually get this done. Now we don't have anything weighing on us. We went ahead and got our credit things together, started another home program this time, and from there we were actually enduring it a little, but that one also didn't pan out.
So it looked like all our thinking isn't God's thinking. I think you guys probably figured that one out on this journey because, here you are, and you think, okay, we got another plan, plan B, plan A didn't quite work. So we got another plan, and you're doing all that you know to do, trying to make sense of the situation and of the transition and the shifts that were happening. And none of that was in vain, okay? And I just want to encourage you guys in that as you look back over your journey. None of that was in vain because you didn't really understand what God was doing. You really didn't know. You knew that you had this dream. Your daughter had already kind of spoken it, into existence. And I'm telling you, out of the mouths of babes, he's ordained, praise. And she was prophesying, which is also a form of praise, and delivering and encouraging and speaking the word of God and bringing it into fruition, speaking those things that aren't as if they are. And so you were doing all you knew humanly possible to do in making sense of the situations and just trying to make it work and see that silver lining, so to speak. But even in that, the struggle was real, and it just wasn't happening the way you thought it was going to happen. And so we're getting ready to take another break, and when we come back, they're going to share some more of this amazing journey of how our ways aren't always God's ways, but God always comes out and he does what he says. So we'll be right back. Hey, as a leader, you are a broker of gifts. So whether you are a professional, a business owner, or a ministerial leader, I would love to accompany you in transforming your ordinary staff into an extraordinary team through leadership development, team building, and personal discovery. You will learn the amazing gifts, skills, and talents that each of you have and know how to bring them together in order to do great things. So reach out to me at AngelaDHenderson.com and let's let's begin your amazing adventure today. And remember, it's a good time to be you. Oh, we are so glad that you are with us today. We have a remarkable story being shared with us by Fred and Chevy Noble. And it's just about the beautiful provisions of God and how he does it his way and not ours, you know? And so we kind of left off where there was a plan B, and you looked at it thinking, okay, God, if you're not going to do it the first way we thought, maybe you're going to do it this way. And we always try to put our rationale, you know, on God. And he just doesn't kind of flow according to our plans and the way we want to think or our rationale, does he? So, Fred, when was it that you began to maybe sense that it was something a little bit deeper maybe than just sheer bad luck, as some people would coin the phrase, that was going on in your life when it came to trying to get this house?
Well, all along during our marriage, Chevy and I, we believed in prayer and fasting. And one morning in 2018, the year 2018, but you know, I was in prayer, and the Holy Spirit began to deal with me about my mindset, and that I had a poverty mindset, and it was generational. And so we began to pray. You know, we brought books, and you know, and in there, the Lord was dealing with us about about different challenges, and that's what happened.
So in those different challenges, we both acknowledged some of the things that we had in our family lines, and we noticed some things that were on his side and some things that were on my side that were patterns, and that's when the aha moment came. So when that aha moment came, we were like, well, hold up, we got to do something different. We can't continue this path. Good. And it wasn't easy at first. Some of the things were very directly challenging when we acknowledged what they were. And I'll tell you something just as simple, like everyone in our family has separate bank accounts. Okay. And we knew that we needed a joint bank account because we're one. Yeah. Everybody doesn't operate that way, but that was something that we acknowledged, that we wanted to be one in everything. And that wasn't easy in the mindset at first. It wasn't. And that's just one of the things as an example that we begin to acknowledge and, you know, work on simple, practical things. And then later on, the harder things came. And those were the things that we recognized were coming against us being able to actually own and obtain some things.
Wow. How beautiful. You know, you're in the year 2018 as you're reflecting back, and you've taken us back there. And again, 20 being that time of redemption. And if we look at the 2000s in general, which is, you know, the time that we're living in, it represents God's timing. And so the number 18 represented bondage and oppression. And so what God was doing in 2018 is that he was showing you, my timing is perfect in your life. All right, I am going to redeem you from those things that have kept you in bondage and have oppressed you, you know, over these years. And so he was bringing an awakening to your soul and to your spirit, man, because it's very instrumental in what happens in our natural being. And so he was wanting to definitely set you free from that, but not just you, your family, because, you know, you've got the next generation that you were already bringing up in this during this time, and your children are not going to have to walk in that mindset and those things, you know, that you guys have been set free from. And there's really something to be said about those generational curses. And it's the same thing though with the blessings, guys. And I'm sure that you learned this in your studies through the books that you reached out to help you, is because we have blessings looming over us too that nobody claimed in our families. And so it's like, well, come on, you know, why are we wearing the curses? Let's go after the blessings. Let's start grabbing those things. So tell me, what was it that you guys decided to do? What were some strategies that you began to embrace? I know you had mentioned combining your bank accounts and, you know, making that one. That was something that the Lord pointed out to you guys that needed to be done. But was there anything else that you began to do?
So at that time, we were at a previous ministry for about 12 years, and once again, I was in prayer, and the Holy Spirit would say,
prayer's a cool thing.
Yeah, prayer's a great thing.
It got a lot of direction when we go there.
But as I was in prayer, the Lord was saying it was time to move on, and so we prayed about it, and we joined another fellowship in North Palm, and we came here, and joining the community, and actually a couple came to us, and we were in the third stage of trying to find a home again, third round, and they said, they said we want to introduce you guys to the court of heaven.
Oh, wow.
So we had received prophetic words about the things that we had in our generational line along the blessings.
Yeah.
And so we were like, God, we want this. And so as we began to partner with our friends in praying in the courts of heaven, God began to reveal some of the hindrances that we have been combating. And so from there, we were just like, okay, wow, we're not crazy. This thing is real. But now we're actually able to receive the blessings because we had to repent for our generational line, for our mindset, and for those things that have been done so that we could actually walk in the blessings of the Lord.
Wow, so cool, so cool. In the courts of heaven, it's so true because sometimes there really are some legal arguments against us as the children of God. Though we may be trying to live the life, there are some legal things that are against us that we have to break free from so that we can walk in all of those blessings. How amazing is that? Well, don't go away. We'll be right back, and we're going to find out the rest of the story and how this amazing thing came to pass in Fred and Chevy's life. So we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone. This is such an exciting story, and I am just so excited about what God is revealing, even through time and through the numbers that you've been sharing. And you had mentioned that this was your third attempt to be able to purchase this home. And the beautiful thing about the number 3 is that it represents divine unity. Between that of the Father, the Son, and the Spirit, but also us coming into an alignment with their will for our lives. And so, you had these friends that helped you go through the courts of heaven. So you got into an alignment and, into that united front with God the Father, Son, and Spirit where your home was concerned, because it was so much more than just finding another building to put your family in. But you were going to build something in it, and it was going to be the foundation. It was going to establish something. So this is something totally new, for not just you, but for your heritage that's to come. It's not going to be built the same way, in which it has been built on from generations past. So this is so exciting. Okay, so let's move forward and let's find out now, what happened to you? There was something odd that took place. So share with us. What was it?
Well, what happened was my grandmother, she transitioned.
Okay.
And
now, when you say transition, she went on to glory, to heaven.
Glory,
okay,
right, yeah.
Good.
And matter of fact, she lived 85 over 90, 92, sorry. Yeah, 92 years on the earth.
What a fruitful life.
Right.
Long life.
And my mom, she called and said, hey, we need someone to occupy her home. Would you guys be willing to stay in there? And, without thinking, I was like, yeah, sure, and that once she said that, it was like a weight lifted. I felt so much. I felt the presence of God, the peace, worry, everything just left that at that very moment, and that was the breakthrough.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
You guys, okay,
yes.
listen, I am so getting something here. Okay, your grandmother was 92 years old.
Right.
You had already been to the courts of heaven. 90s. The 90s represent judgment, and the 2 represents witness. I'm telling you what, you guys went into the courts of heaven. Judgment was made. You were witnessing the
Hallelujah.
move of God on your life as He said, it is done, and the courts of heaven have spoken over you, and God said it's yours. Oh my goodness, is that not amazing? We can have church right now, can't we? This is so exciting. How beautiful is that? So tell me then, the Lord answering your prayer through this move, what have you kind of transitioned into yourself? As your grandmother transitioned to a bigger mansion.
Right.
Okay, so now you are making a transition. How's that going?
The transition is going very well. It was interesting. One part that Fred had left out was we had actually started with a third home program. And when we were doing it with them, we actually stopped getting calls from them. We were no longer in communication. And then that's when we found out that we actually had been left at home by his grandmother. So it was funny because we had already set a timeline to leave our apartment, and it ended up falling right in alignment anyway, because when the lady stopped calling, we didn't know what was going on.
You didn't even need man's money.
We didn't know.
I mean, is that not amazing? I think God said, no, don't worry about it. Man can't take care of this. We've already got it covered.
Yes.
We've already got it covered. That is so awesome. So now also, you had spoken about that time when some of the streams had dried up that were flowing for the income, bringing income into your home and everything. So what is now happening as these streams are opening back up? What is the business that you have?
Well, we have we both have a business. She's partner with me, but the name of the business is Noble's New Sound Music Studio.
Wow.
I started in 2009, and we offer piano lessons and voice lessons, and we recently launched our online music program that's going very well.
And you did that during the pandemic.
During
did
the
you not?
pandemic,
During
yes,
2020.
yes,
Okay, talk
yes.
about some redemption.
Right.
2020.
Right.
Okay, that is so awesome. So during a time when it seemed like everything was shutting down and closing up, God gave you strategy and innovation to really increase your business.
Yes, ma'am.
And, that just shows you it doesn't matter what's going on in the world around us or what mankind is saying. If everything else seems to be drying up, God's watering and He's breaking loose dams of blessing and waters that are flowing. And how beautiful is that? And so, Chevy, you also, again, the two of you, but there's another business in which you're mainly the leader in. And what's that?
Yes, that's Extend Life Fitness, and I help people to detox their bodies and to actually eat according to what would be most healthy for them individually. So I am helping a lot of people. The Lord sent many people my way during the pandemic as well. And I was just like, wow, God, you were just overwhelming me with blessings right now.
Isn't that amazing? So during those times, you guys were being flooded with the blessings of the Lord. And congratulations on your new home. And I know that you're just going to continue to grow your family, and your family's going to be so blessed within the four walls of that. And you're so glad that, your little girl now has that house. And I just keep letting her prophesy. There's no telling what's in the store for you guys. Okay? So keep letting her speak those things into existence. But tell me, when did you realize it was a good time to be you?
Oh, gracious. We realized it was a good time to be us when we realized that the Lord was on our side.
Amen. And He always is. He's Jehovah Jireh, the Lord our provider. That's good. Well, why don't we let everyone else out there know it's a good time to be them at the count of three, okay? 1, 2, 3. It's a good time to be you. To connect with Fred Noble and his music adventure, just go to yourmusicjourneyonline.com. To connect with Chevy Noble and her fitness adventure, go to extendlifefitness.com. And remember, it's a good time to be you.